something extraordinary took place while you were asleep last night. 7 archangels unveiled something that has been kept from you until now. Pause. Don't skip this. Don't brush it off as just another message, because something happened last night that directly involved you, and I'm not speaking in vague or metaphorical terms. I'm referring to real events in the spiritual realm that are on the verge of affecting your physical world. Right now, at this very moment, 7 archangels are surrounding you, and they carry an urgent message. You need to understand what transpired last night, because what was hidden in the shadows is now on the verge of being revealed. What was concealed is about to be brought into the light, and what has been blocked is on the brink of breaking free. When you woke up this morning, did you feel any shift, even just a little? Did it seem like you dreamt of something important but couldn't recall it? Did you wake up at an odd hour, perhaps 3 a.m. or 4 a.m.? Did your heart feel heavy or unexpectedly light? That wasn't by chance. That was your spirit reacting to what was unfolding around you while your mind was at rest. Pay close attention. I'm about to uncover 7 distinct events that took place last night, 7 angelic interventions, 7 spiritual shifts, 7 transformations that occurred while you slept. And as I share these with you, you're going to recognize them. You'll feel it deep inside. You'll know this message is meant for you. Type 1 if you felt something unusual last night. If this morning felt different than usual, pause right here. Before I share the 7 events, you need to subscribe to this channel immediately. Not later, not at the end, right now. Because what I'm about to reveal is the first part of a 21-day message series. If you're not subscribed, you'll miss the next 20 messages that will guide you on how to use this information. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell. Do it now before it slips your mind. I'll wait. All set, great. Now let me explain why last night was so incredibly important. Before I reveal what happened, you need to understand why last night was significant. Yesterday, something shifted in your situation. Maybe you made a small decision. Maybe you had a conversation. Maybe you simply chose to keep going when quitting felt easier. Whatever it was, that choice activated something in the spiritual realm. It triggered a response from heaven. It caught the attention of the archangels. And last night, while you were sleeping and couldn't interfere with your own doubts and fears, they moved, they worked, they fought, they arranged, they protected, they prepared. All 7 of them in coordination for you. And now, you're about to find out exactly what they did. Intervention number 1. Michael fought a battle you didn't know was happening. Last night, while you were sleeping, Archangel Michael was at war. Not a physical war, a spiritual one. There was an attack planned against your mind, against your peace, against your hope. Forces of darkness were positioning themselves to hit you hard the moment you opened your eyes this morning. They were going to flood you with anxiety, with doubt, with thoughts of giving up, with memories of every failure, with fear about the future. They had it all planned, the timing, the intensity, everything calculated to make you feel like today was the day you finally quit. But Michael intercepted it. He stood between you and that assault. He pushed back so hard that they couldn't reach you. And this morning, when you woke up, you didn't feel what they intended. You felt something else. Maybe confusion, maybe heaviness, but not that crushing despair they were planning. That was Michael's shield. You were protected without even knowing you were being attacked. And if you've been wondering why you feel stronger today than you should feel given everything you're going through, now you know. Michael's protection is still active around you right now. Type, Michael protected me, if you woke up feeling different than you expected. And if Michael's protection was real for you, if you felt that difference this morning, Smash that like button right now. Your like tells the YouTube algorithm that this message needs to reach more people who are under attack, more people who need Michael's protection. Hit that like button. Do it now. But here's what makes this even more significant. Michael doesn't just protect randomly. He protects when something valuable is being targeted, which means there's something in you, something about your destiny, something about your next season that the enemy is desperately trying to stop. And the fact that Michael showed up last night means you're close. Close to breakthrough, close to your next level, close to something that requires this level of protection. The attacks don't intensify unless you're near victory within the next 3 days. Watch for confirmation. Someone is going to mention protection or safety to you. Completely random, out of context. That's not coincidence. That's Michael confirming what I'm telling you right now is real. Type 3-day. Watch if you're going to pay attention for that confirmation. Intervention number 2. Raphael started healing what medicine couldn't touch. While you were sleeping last night, Archangel Raphael was working on something deeper than physical symptoms. He was working on the root, the emotional wound, the spiritual trauma, the place where all your pain originates from. Now listen. I'm not telling you to stop seeing your doctor. I'm not saying you were miraculously healed of any diagnosed condition. What I'm saying is that Raphael began a process, a healing journey that works from the inside out, from spirit to emotion to body. You might have woken up this morning and noticed something subtle. Maybe chronic pain that's always there felt marginally better. Maybe anxiety that's constant felt slightly quieter. Maybe depression that's been crushing felt a bit lighter. Just enough that you noticed, but not enough that you trusted it was real. That was Raphael starting the work. While your conscious resistance was down, while your mind couldn't interfere with, but it never works, or I've tried everything. He began healing what's been broken for years. Type, Raphael is healing me, if you noticed any improvement this morning, no matter how small. Quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed yet, you're making a huge mistake. The 7-day healing update drops in 3 days. The 21-day breakthrough report comes after that. If you're not subscribed with notifications on, you'll miss them. And missing them means missing your confirmation. Subscribe now. Bell icon. All notifications. Stop making excuses and do it. And here's what this means practically. Over the next 7 days, you're going to notice continued improvement. Not dramatic, not overnight miracle, but progressive, gradual, steady each day, a bit better than the last. Some mornings you'll wake up and think, I actually feel kind of normal. Some days the thing that always triggers you won't trigger you as hard. Some moments you'll catch yourself feeling hope when you've been living in despair. That's not placebo. That's not your imagination. That's Raphael's healing unfolding in real time. And the more you acknowledge it, the more you thank God for it, the faster it accelerates. Within 7 days, track your progress. Notice the small improvements, because they're building towards something significant. Type 7-day healing if you're committed to watching for progressive improvement. Intervention number 3. Gabriel delivered a message about you to someone else. This one is going to sound impossible to verify. But stay with me. Last night while you were sleeping, Archangel Gabriel appeared in someone's dream. Someone whose path is meant to cross yours. Someone who has something you need or needs something you have. A divine connection that's being orchestrated. Gabriel didn't show them your face, didn't give them your name, but he planted something, a knowing, a recognition, a spiritual marker that's preparing them. So when you two meet, they'll feel it instantly, like they've been waiting for you, like they've been looking for you, like you're the answer to something they've been praying about. And here's what you need to know. They woke up different this morning too. They felt hope they couldn't explain. They felt drawn towards something without knowing what. They felt ready for connection when they've been closed off. That's Gabriel's work, preparing both sides of a divine meeting. And if this is true, if this really happened, you're going to meet this person soon. Within weeks, not years, not someday soon. Type, Gabriel is connecting me. If your heart just jumped reading that, if you felt that hope, if your spirit witnessed to that message, hit the like button right now. Look at the like count on this video. Thousands of people are confirming this is real. Add your like. Be part of the confirmation. Your like pushes this message to more people whose divine connection is waiting. Like button now. Now, how will you know it's them when you meet 3 signs to watch for? First, the conversation will flow easily, like you've known them forever. No awkwardness, no forcing, just natural chemistry. Second, they'll say something specific, something that relates to your current situation, even though they don't know your situation. Like they're reading from a script they don't know they have. Third, you'll feel safe with them immediately. Not just attracted, not just interested, but safe. Like you can be yourself without performing. When all 3 of those signs show up with the same person, that's likely the connection Gabriel prepared. Type watching for 3 signs if you're staying alert for this divine meeting. Intervention number 4. Uriel removed a veil from your spiritual eyes. Last night, Archangel Uriel did something subtle but powerful. He removed a veil that's been over your spiritual perception, making you see your situation through the lens of trauma and disappointment instead of seeing it as it truly is. This morning, if you pay attention, you're seeing things slightly differently. That problem that felt impossible yesterday might seem solvable today. That person who hurt you might suddenly make sense in a way they didn't before. That future that looked closed might show cracks of possibility. This is Uriel's work, not changing your circumstances, changing your perception. Because sometimes the situation doesn't need to change. Our ability to see the situation clearly is what needs to shift. Type, Uriel opened my eyes if things look even 1% different to you today. And here's the practical impact. Over the next few days, solutions are going to occur to you that didn't occur to you before. You're going to see options you couldn't see yesterday. You're going to recognize patterns you've been blind to. Answers that were always there but hidden behind the veil are going to become visible. This doesn't mean everything gets easy. It means everything gets clearer. And clarity is the first step toward breakthrough. Watch specifically for this within 48 hours. A sudden insight, a why didn't I think of that before moment, a realization that makes you pause and think, oh, that's what's really going on. That's Uriel's revelation continuing. Type 48-hour insight if you're watching for that moment of clarity. Intervention number 5. Chamuel began softening the hardest places in your heart. Last night, Archangel Chamuel went into the deepest, most defended places in your heart. The places where you've built walls, where you've said never again, where bitterness lives, where unforgiveness has taken root. Where you've closed yourself off completely, because staying closed feels safer than risking again. Chamuel didn't tear those walls down. That would be too violent, too painful. Instead, he began softening them, making them less rigid, creating small cracks where light can start to seep in, preparing your heart to heal without forcing you to heal before you're ready. This morning, if you're honest with yourself, that person who hurt you isn't consuming your thoughts quite as much. That situation that enraged you isn't burning quite as hot. That resentment you've been feeding isn't feeling as satisfying. Type Chamuel touched my heart if you notice even the smallest shift toward peace regarding past pain. Now, this doesn't mean you need to reconcile with people who harmed you. This doesn't mean you should go back to what broke you. What this means is that you're being freed from the prison of bitterness. You're being released from the torture of carrying hatred. Unforgiveness doesn't hurt them. It hurts you. It keeps you chained to them, bound to the past, stuck in a loop of pain. And Chamwell is offering you the key to unlock those chains. Over the next 72 hours, you might find yourself thinking about forgiving someone, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. That thought, when it comes, is from Chamwell. Don't dismiss it. Consider it. Sit with it. See if it resonates. Type 72-hour forgiveness if you're open to that possibility. Intervention number 6. Joffel showed you the beauty hidden in your broken pieces. Last night, Archangel Joffel did something artistic. She took all the broken pieces of your story, all the pain, all the loss, all the moments that felt wasted, and she arranged them into a pattern, a mosaic, where every piece, even the darkest one, serves a purpose in the larger picture. You can't see the full picture yet. But this morning you might have caught a glimpse, a moment where you thought, maybe that had to happen, so this could happen. A flash of understanding about why certain doors closed, a sense that your pain might have meaning after all. That's Joffel's influence, helping you see your story as art instead of as tragedy, helping you recognize purpose in what felt random, helping you believe that beauty can emerge from ashes. Type Joffel is showing me beauty if you had even one moment today where your past made sense. Listen to me carefully. I'm about to share the final 2 Archangel messages. But before I do, if you are not subscribed, you need to understand what you're about to lose. The 10-day testimony update is coming. The 21-day confirmation video is coming. The 30-day breakthrough report is coming. 3 more critical messages, and if you're not subscribed, you'll never see them. You'll be left wondering, did it work, while everyone else is commenting their victories? Don't be that person. Subscribe right now. I'm not asking anymore. I'm telling you, subscribe bell now. And here's what's coming. Within the next 10 days, someone is going to tell you their story. And it's going to sound like yours. And you're going to be able to help them, to encourage them, to give them hope, because you've been through what they're going through. That moment when you realize your pain qualifies you to help someone else's pain. That's when the beauty fully emerges. That's when you'll understand why you had to go through what you went through. Type 10-day testimony if you're ready for your story to help someone else. Intervention number 7. Sadkill released you from guilt you've been carrying. Last night, the final Archangel Sadkill did something only mercy can do. He forgave you on behalf of heaven for something you've been punishing yourself, for something you've been carrying, something you think disqualifies you from good thing. He didn't wait for you to feel worthy. He didn't wait for you to perfectly repent. He saw your heart. He saw your regret. He saw that you've suffered enough. And he released you from the spiritual consequence of that mistake. This morning, if you pay attention, shame doesn't feel as heavy. Self-hatred doesn't scream as loud. That voice that says you don't deserve good things is quieter, just enough that you notice. Type Sadkill set me free if guilt feels even marginally lighter today. Now, this doesn't mean there are no natural consequences for past actions. Some things we did created real-world results we have to deal with. But the spiritual penalty, the karmic debt, the sense that God is punishing you, that's what Sadkill removed. You're not disqualified. You're not beyond redemption. You're not too broken to be used. That was a lie. And last night, that lie was exposed and destroyed. Within 5 days, you're going to have an opportunity to try again. At something you failed at before. At something you thought was over. At something you gave up on. When that opportunity appears, take it. That's heaven confirming you're forgiven. You're restored. You're given another chance. Type 5-day opportunity if you're ready to try again. Now here's what all 7 of these interventions together mean. Last night wasn't normal. It wasn't random. You were specifically targeted by heaven for a coordinated spiritual operation. 7 archangels working simultaneously on 7 different aspects of your life all at once. Why? Because you're close. Close to something that requires this level of preparation. Close to a breakthrough that needs you to be protected, healed, connected, seeing clearly, heart softened, purpose aware, and guilt-free. You couldn't receive what's coming if you were still under attack, still wounded, still isolated, still blind, still bitter, still confused, still condemned. So heaven removed all 7 obstacles in one night while you slept so you'd wake up ready. Type all 7 happened to me if you recognize multiple interventions from last night. If you recognized even 3 of these interventions, you need to hit that like button. Clears throat, because this message just explained what's been happening in your life. This message just gave you answers you've been searching for. Show your gratitude, show your confirmation, like button, press it right now. And here's the timeline. Within 21 days, you're going to see physical evidence confirmation in your natural circumstances that matches what I've described spiritually. It might be a door opening a relationship, shifting a problem, solving a resource, appearing a clarity moment, something that makes you think back to this message and realize that's what they were talking about. That confirmation is critical because doubt is going to come. You're going to think I made that up. I wanted to believe, so I convinced myself. But when that physical confirmation arrives, you'll know. No, this was real. Heaven really did move last night. Type 21-day confirmation if you're watching for tangible evidence. Now I need to warn you about something. Over the next few days, things might actually get more challenging before they get better. Not because the interventions failed, but because the enemy is furious about what happened last night. And he's going to try one last attack to steal what was given to you. Expect distractions. Expect old temptations. Expect people from your past to suddenly reappear. Expect doubts to get louder. Expect circumstances to feel worse. That's the enemy's panic, not God's abandonment. When those attacks come, remember what you learned here. Michael's protection is still active. Raphael's healing is still progressing. Gabriel's connection is still forming. Uriel's clarity is still increasing. Shamuel's softening is still working. Jophel's beauty is still emerging. Sadkil's freedom is still settling in. Type I will remember if you're ready to fight through the resistance. Here's what you need to do starting right now. 3 specific actions that lock in what happened last night. First, speak it out loud. Before this day ends, say out loud. Last night, 7 archangels worked on my behalf. I receive what they did. I believe what they started. I trust what's coming. Your verbal declaration activates what happened spiritually. Second, watch for the signs I mentioned. 3 days protection confirmation. 5 days new opportunity. 7 days continued healing. 10 days testimony moment. 21 days physical evidence. 48 hours sudden insight. 72 hours forgiveness possibility. Mark them, track them, notice them when they appear. Third, share this message with one person. One person who needs to hear it. One person who's been struggling, one person who's about to give up. Your testimony, even before you see full results, has power. It builds faith. It creates momentum. It invites others to believe. Type I will share this if you know someone who needs this message. Now, before we close, I need to address something honestly. Not everything I've described is guaranteed to manifest exactly as I said. I'm interpreting spiritual insights. I'm describing possibilities based on patterns. I'm offering hope based on faith. Your experience might be different. The timing might vary. The signs might show up in unexpected ways. And if you don't see everything I mentioned, that doesn't mean you failed or that heaven abandoned you. What I want you to take from this message is not rigid expectation, but grounded hope. The belief that heaven is active in your life. The faith that you're not alone. The confidence that better days are possible. And if even one thing I described resonates with you, if even one intervention feels true, if even one timeline produces confirmation, let that strengthen your faith. Let that remind you that God sees you, knows you, cares about your situation, and is working on your behalf in ways you often can't see. 7 archangels, 7 interventions. One purpose, to prepare you for what's next. And what's next is good. Not perfect, not problem-free, but good, better, brighter, more aligned with who you actually are and what you're actually meant for. Last night, while you were sleeping, heaven moved. And this morning, you woke up different. Maybe you didn't realize it. Maybe you dismissed it. But your spirit knows. Something shifted. Something changed. Something broke loose. And over the coming days and weeks, that shift is going to become more obvious, more undeniable, more real. Until you look back at this moment, at this message, at this day, and you recognize that's when it started. That's when everything changed. That's when hope came back. Subscribe to this channel right now. Because what I shared today is just the beginning. There are more messages coming, more revelations, more confirmations, more guidance for what's unfolding in your life. And you don't want to miss them. 7 archangels worked on you last night. This message reached you this morning. The next message arrives when you're ready. Stay connected. Stay aware. Stay believing. In Jesus' name, amen. But before you go, there's something critical I need to tell you. Something about the specific order these 7 interventions happened in, because the order matters. It reveals something about your spiritual readiness and what heaven is preparing you for next. Michael came first. Because protection always comes first. Before healing can happen, you need to be safe. Before connections can form, you need to be guarded. Before clarity can arrive, the attacks need to be stopped. That's why Michael showed up at the beginning of the night, to create the spiritual space where the other 6 angels could work. And if you woke up this morning feeling like you slept through a battle without knowing there was a battle, that's exactly what happened. Michael fought while you rested. He took the hits meant for you. He pushed back the forces that were coming after your peace, and he won. Which is why you're still standing today. Type Michael came first if this order makes sense to your spirit. Then Raphael came second. Once you were protected, healing could begin. Not before, because you can't heal properly while still under attack. The wounds just keep reopening. But once Michael created safety, Raphael could start the deep work. The emotional repair, the spiritual restoration, the soul healing that's been needed for years. And the reason you might not feel completely healed yet is because healing takes time. Michael's protection was instant. Raphael's healing is progressive. It unfolds over days and weeks. Each morning slightly better than the last, each day carrying a bit less weight than the day before. So if you're frustrated that you don't feel 100% better right now, understand this. The process started last night, but the completion takes time. Give it the 7 days I mentioned. Watch for the gradual improvement. Trust the process. Type healing takes time if you're willing to be patient with your own recovery. Gabriel came third because once you're protected and healing, you're ready for connection. You're ready to receive the relationships heaven has been holding back until you are whole enough to not break under the weight of them. Damaged people attract damaged relationships, but healing people attract healthy connections. Gabriel waited until you were in the healing process before planting the seeds of divine connection. Because the person he's bringing to you needs you to be ready. They need you to be past the stage where you'd sabotage good things because you don't believe you deserve them. They need you stable, grounded, clear. And if that person shows up in the next few weeks and you're still in the middle of healing, don't panic. The fact that they're arriving means heaven believes you're ready enough. Not perfect, but ready enough. And sometimes we're more ready than we think we are. Type ready for connection if you feel prepared to receive healthy relationships. Uriel came forth with clarity. Because you can't see clearly while you're under attack, or while you're drowning in pain, or while you're completely isolated. You need protection first. You need healing started. You need connection forming. And then your spiritual eyes can open to see what's really happening. That's why this morning, or over the next 48 hours, you're going to start seeing your situation differently. Not because the situation changed, but because the veil lifted the fog, cleared the confusion, dissolved. And what was always true is finally becoming visible to you. This clarity is going to shock you. You're going to wonder how you didn't see it before, how you missed such obvious signs, how you stayed blind for so long. But don't judge yourself for that. The veil wasn't your fault. It was spiritual interference. And now that Uriel removed it, you can see finally clearly. Completely type. I'm starting to see clearly if the fog in your mind is lifting even slightly. Chamuel came fifth because heart softening can only happen after protection, healing, connection, and clarity are in place. If your heart softened too early before you were ready, you'd go back to what hurt you. You'd repeat old patterns. You'd forgive people who haven't changed and get hurt again. But now, with Michael's protection surrounding you, Raphael's healing taking root, Gabriel's connection growing, and Uriel's clarity active, you are able to forgive with safety. You can release bitterness without putting yourself at risk. You can let go of resentment without opening yourself to manipulation again. That's why you're experiencing that gentle shift today. Not weakness, not being naive, but strength-based forgiveness, wisdom-fueled release. A kind of letting go that doesn't require the other person to earn it. The kind that frees you regardless of whether they apologize. Type, my heart is softening if you feel less anger today than you did yesterday. Joffel came sixth because true beauty in your story can only be seen once everything else has been set in motion. Once you are safe, healing, connected, seeing clearly, and your heart softened. Only then can you look back at your pain and see its purpose. Only then can you recognize the mosaic forming. Only then can you understand why certain things had to happen. And during those 10 days I mentioned when you help someone else with your testimony, that's when Joffel's work is complete. That's when you'll fully see that nothing was in vain. Every tear had a purpose. Every struggle had meaning. Every dark night was preparing you for someone else's dawn. Your pain becomes healing for someone else's wound. Your survival becomes hope for another's battle. Your story becomes the light that leads someone else out of their darkness. That transformation from victim to victor to helper. That's the beauty Joffel showed you. Type, my pain has purpose if you're beginning to believe your story has meaning. Finally, Sadkill came seventh because mercy is the culmination of all the other work. You can only truly receive forgiveness, truly let go of guilt, truly feel free from shame after all the other steps have been taken. 7 Archangels, 7 interventions. One message that changes everything. Subscribe, like, hit the bell, and comment. Do it now. In Jesus' name, amen.